Do we want to play more of this, or do we want to play updated mono green Eldrazi with Sire of the Seven Deaths, 4 main deck Wastescape Battlemage? Getting to play 4 Cavern in this main deck and 4 Wastescape is a big draw to me. More of a stompy deck with the Sire now. Sire helps you stabilize against energy. 4 Cavern helps like consign. So let's get I'll pay out the believers, and then we'll do a little bit of a poll on, do we want to see this next, or do we want to do one more of the green red? I have a feeling it's going to be this one, because this one has been in demand. Okay, more 8 Flesh Raker, mono green Sire. I do think it'll be good to see Sire in a non-Tron build. I think it was very good in the Tron build, but this would be our first time playing it outside of that deck. All right, so poll is live. Get your votes in. All right, can I give this one a keep? Yeah, but for me, like just getting to play 4 Cavern and being not so weak to all these dang consigns seems like really nice. And so that's part of the reason why I'm not playing Fanatic of Ronus. But also like Wumpus is just like a little bit too dumpy for me to play in this metagame, which means we don't have enough like ferocious creatures to really enable us. Okay, now it looks like I forgot to reveal my Devourer. That's okay. I want to play the lab on turn 1, so that if I draw another lab or a temple, I could potentially turn 2 Seer. Oh, is this our same Eldrazi opponent? So we do have some Chalice main deck, and we got Overgrown Tomb. Might not be Eldrazi. So we have Trinisphere main deck, Kozilek command, and some Ghost Vacuums. Maybe All Is Dust post board. Could still be yeah, it looks like it is a Living End build, but it's like one of the weird like Halo Forager, maybe Beseech the Mirror builds. Looks cool. Yeah, I know it was a top deck, but like it just kind of looks that way, right? All right, yeah, let's go ahead and just play this. Good draw. Might get Subtlety'd. We do get Subtlety'd. They pitch a Curator of Mysteries. Now, I don't think I need 2 Thought-Knot Seers this game with them being on 3 cards. So I'll just bottom this one. They have Delirium. They do not have Delirium, so they can't Marauder me here. Just lands and creatures. Oh, cool. Ooh, they have Disciple of Freyalise in their deck, too. Huh. Well, I don't have All Is Dust in my main deck, so I'm just going to concede. But that is pretty neat. Let's go ahead and bring in the All Is Dusts. Let's bring in the Ghost Vacuums. Let's bring in Trinisphere number 4. On the play, I don't think I'm going to bring in the cut the Caverns for 3rd Boseiju in a matchup where Boseiju doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to cut my World Breakers as like the worst top end. And then I'm going to cut my Battle Mages and click Submit. Right, beautiful hand. I love that you basically just always have it imprintable in this build. Oh my gosh. But sometimes you can confuse Sanctum of Ugin for Ugin's Lab. Still keep, maybe? We do have Trinisphere on turn 3. I think it would still click the keep button. But it's much worse this way. Did anybody else think this was a Ugin's Lab? Or is it just me? No, okay. Just me. I mean, it's not as bad as that deck where we had 4 Sanctum of Ugins, 4 Ugin's Binding, and 4 Ugin's Labyrinth. Another Overlord. So I wonder if they're playing Flare too. Like, it doesn't seem like they're playing Ardent Plea. So, like, what is their... Like, are they on Beseech the Mirror and Overlord, or are they... Do they have some way to find Shardless Agent? Do they have Ardent Plea and just haven't seen white mana? Oh, Halo Forager, right. Yeah, the 4 mana I can't remember the name of the card. I remember like saying that it might see play in like living in builds, but can't remember the text. Okay, I guess you just pass with K command. X equals 1 up. Could be X equals 2 should my opponent Boseiju me. Okay, so now the plan becomes to, I think, exile 2 things and make 2 spawns. If I exile Generosant, Overlord, and then just leave them with an int, double Wraith, and a Curator, okay, well. I could alternatively scry draw and try to find like land all is dust. I think I'm gonna try instead to cast a Sire of the 7 Deaths and put myself in a position where this card is gonna stabilize for me. We need to draw land though. Oh my gosh, the spawn's getting sacked. Sorry, chat. Did use all the brain power after all. What little brain power there is. I even like earlier and like when I was playing Breach, I knew the spawns were gonna die, and I scry drew. Not when I was playing this deck though. All right, so they have 10, 14, 15, 16 plus 3, 21. Okay. Doesn't really matter. It's just gonna get shuffled away. Any chance I'll draft some cube? Maybe. I think I plan to. I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I think we'll do some more tomorrow. So we're gonna Thought-Knot Seer here because it can block a 3/4, I think. Or do we have to actually jump the ends? 6, 11. We go to 1 if we block a Street Wraith, which I'll double count, but blocking this Street Wraith, we take 13 plus 6 is 19, and then we get to play a Sire. And I don't know if the Sire stabilizes. We can maybe go Mycospawn into Sire. There's another one. Okay, so if I just play a Sire, I'm effectively at 8 life. I block here. I take 11. So what if I block here? I'm at 8, and I take 9. So if I can Mycospawn into a Sire, I would be able to survive, and I seem to be 1 mana short of doing so. So maybe if I had Scry Draw, we could hit our land here. Oh, they rebought Subtlety off the Overlord. I missed that. Although, do we know they have a blue card in their hand? They might not have had a blue card. Can we fade the blue card? Well, we're just dead. We can't go Mycospawn into Sire. And Sire doesn't stabilize us. I kind of want to cast this so that if they did draw the blue card, we'll know, and then we can just complain instead of thinking about how we could have played better. Okay. Complaining instead of thinking how we could have played better. Let's go. Weird to play against Living in twice in a row. So my opponent has revealed Gigantha. I'm going to keep, and I think I'm playing Boseiju turn 1, which is bad against Blood Moon. Maybe I just named Treefolk off Cavern. It's a bit weird. But I want to be able to draw an imprintable and play 6 on turn 2. I have 12 of those. GG Pedro, your list looks really cool. Seemed nice. Okay, so Mardu potentially, although Delirium? No, the play Street Wraith. Either way, we're getting Thought Seized. They're like a Hollow One style shell, but it's weird because they're not playing Wraith, so you would think no Phoenix, no FOMO, but the Wastescape Battlemages could be really important to get rid of FOMO and Phoenix. This does give my opponent information about what I drew. Maybe I should just play the Temple, actually, but I think it's okay. But I'm going to hold these for that reason. I also may want to just bounce a creature next turn. What do I think of the blue-black Kiora deck? I felt like I wanted to play a little bit more of it, and I have not played any more of it yet, so still I somewhat trying to formulate an opinion. I feel like it's probably not better than your more stock builds of your Dimir Frog decks, which is a problem for decks like that, right? A lot of good top decks for us. They still have the Goyf in their hand. Keeps the card on top, so still a 1-mana 3/4 if they play it. Instead, they do play that Fear of Missing Out. Maneuvered well around the Battlemage, discarding a Kiora. Sorry, Kroxa. So I think I'm going to play the Boseiju and just pass. I'm hoping my opponent doesn't escape Kroxa next turn, because it makes it kind of awkward for me to play. Like what to discard and what to play is awkward. And they have Arena plus Kroxa. Well, I'm glad to see people are still playing this deck. I did like this one. We're kind of cooked though. I guess I just leave the Sire in my hand with the intention of trying to top deck an Eldrazi Temple or a Kozilek's Command. I think I'll chump block the Kroxa also. All right, let's go to game 2. Down a game against Rakdos. I want to bring in these Ghost Vacuums. I want to play one Trinisphere probably. It's very punishing to draw like unhelpful redundant cards. I think I'll play. Maybe we'll just play 2 and 2 split with the Battle Mages. I think that makes sense. Run it back. You lose this win because both your decks. Yeah, maybe. I do think that Rakdos just like I don't. Because, like, the Arcanists were good. You could play Raptor over Arcanist. You could just cut the Arcanist to kind of some flex spots. But this, like, Rakdos, like, discard-based Kroxa, FOMO, Nether Wave deck, I do think it's underplayed. Where are the Sire of Insanity? Did I say Sire of Insanity? Oh, wait, is that in the title? No. Just Sire Edition. I do like Sire of Insanity. What's a good modern deck for a noob like me? So I get this question a lot, right? Like Spike, I want to get into modern. What should I do? What should I play? And usually my answer is a little bit different from the answer that you'll get from most people. I genuinely, sincerely recommend just taking some time to find a deck that speaks to you. Like, I think picking that first modern deck is a very personal and fun experience that I do not want to deprive you of. Modern is such a, diverse, varied, unique format with lots you can do. And in fact, that's a big part of the reason why I do what I do, is to continue that variety and continue to try to give y'all options to choose from when it comes to selecting your modern decks. And I just don't want to deprive you of those options. I want you to be able to find something sweet that really speaks to you for yourself. Or just play Energy. But like nobody needs to come to me to be like, Spike, should I play the most popular deck on MTG Goldfish? Like, obviously that was always an option. But yeah, I don't know. I think picking that first modern deck, picking any modern deck, it's a very fun and personal experience that I don't want to deprive you of. I want you to have that experience. YouTube video told me to watch an old video of you playing Dice Factory Twin. I love the deck so much. I tried to brew an updated version, including Goblin Engineer. Going to play it tomorrow night FDN. Good luck, good luck. I've been wanting to play Arena of Glory Goblin Engineer some. I also really want to play Worn Power Stone again. Surely there's something we can do with Worn Power Stone in Modern. Like, I thought for sure I'd be playing it with Keys and or Amulet. I guess it's just kind of tough to play both. Yeah, 3 cards in their hand. They do have Delirium, so they're going to hit me for 4. What good 6-drops are? That's Power Stone's best deck. I mean, Power Stone is less about 6-drops and like it's more about like comboing with Amulet of Vigor and Paradox Engine and the keys, turning your keys into things that tap for 1 mana. I think I should probably Battlemage plus Trinisphere now. Like, stopping them from being able to double spell is just pretty crazy in these kind of games. Are there a few decks that are easier to play? Some seem hard to play. There are decks that are easier to play. Like, if you want an easy deck, you could play Energy, you know. And that's what most new players do. Maybe just pick up Energy, and that deck's pretty easy to pilot for the most part. But I will also say that if you're brand new to Modern, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have those days. It's gonna take you some time to figure out like how to pilot any deck you decide to pick up. So I generally recommend just being okay making a lot of mistakes with whatever deck you pick up. Just being okay making a lot of mistakes and just enjoying your deck and then learning that deck. Born Power Stone and the Synthesizer Metalwork Colossus show. One last ride. You know, Timeless Lotus discounts Metalwork Colossus by 5. I don't know if that's something we'll do. You know, people sure do like this Dreams of Steel and Oil card. I don't know about this Dreams of Steel and Oil card. All right. Extra Gemstone Caverns on the draw. If I can grab it. I think that card would be good in Standard to finally deal with Oculus. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think it's bad necessarily. It sure is seeing like a lot more play than I would really expect. What was the reason for taking out the Mana Dork? So, kind of the biggest thing is that Wumpus isn't good in the metagame. Maybe it was never good. It was okay like early. And so, like, we just don't have a density of ferocious enablers for Fnatic, which means I don't think we can afford to play the card. So we do have a Gemstone Caverns on the draw, which is nice. We don't really have much else going on. I think we're going to mulligan. Okay, we still have Gemstone Caverns, but now we have a lot going on. So let's go ahead and keep this. We do have to bottom a card. I think I want to bottom the Sire so I can surveil with this and then imprint this to the Labyrinth so I can get a little bit of extra value. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and click this and then click this. And I think I'm imprinting the Mycospawn instead of the 6. I want to play 6 on turn 1 and then have the K command backup. Okay, I've been for turn 1 Trinisphere. Been a little while since we did this, huh? I should probably do like a YouTube video I can link that has this like summary for when people ask about Modern decks. There aren't really any control deck in Modern. Is that true? I mean, the Jeskai control deck has like as soon as like recently as a month ago been pretty popular. Maybe there's just like not people working on it right now, but I think Jeskai is somewhat viable. Also, like Coffers, someone was saying Coffers might be kind of good. Coffers might be kind of good. Like the field version of Coffers against like the Eldrazi stuff, and you have Karn also against like all the combo decks, and you have like can you hedge it with enough sweepers for energy is maybe the question. But there was someone the other day who was saying that Coffers was like running the tables of their FNM, which is not the kind of stuff I usually like to think too much about, but I just like kind of believe them for some reason. Maybe we should spend some more time working on it. We have played Coffers kind of recently, but I don't think we've played like traditional like 8-field Coffers. Yeah, they said it was like incredibly good against Belcher, and that was like their main selling point. We make spawns and scry draw here. Yeah, at the very least, Coffers is likely more playable than the general attitude of there are no viable control decks in the format. Okay, kind of easy top here. Let them take the World Breaker. Could maybe get World Breaker back with its ability. And then play a Sire. Also the Blast Zone for the Channeler. Sideboard a bunch of spies in the Belcher. I mean, you can do that. The thing about Belcher is also, of course, that they just play a ton of free counter spells. What do I think about Kiora? I like Kiora a lot. I've played a lot of Kiora in Modern at this point. Weirdly enough, I think Kiora is more of a combo card than it is a like Unearth, like mere Oculus card. It's okay in those shells. We played in those shells. But I've really liked Kiora in like Goryo's and Simic Woodland so far, where it gives you like it gives the deck another blue looting enabler, and weirdly enough, the quality of blue looters is pretty low. So and Kiora is just one of the best ones, surprisingly enough, and so it gives you that access to a good blue enabler that also gives you like a good plan B, and you can Goryo's your Kiora and attack with it, make an 8/8, and like filter your draws if you have multiple Goryo's. It's pretty good. And then I liked it a lot in the Oculus or in the Woodlands deck too. I thought it was solid in the mirror. I have like a Jeskai shell I want to play it in. I guess I can talk about this. It might be the backup deck for tomorrow. But I want to play it in like a Jeskai Savine's Wreck deck, like more of like a low to the ground Jeskai control, where you can like cast Kiora and you can loot away Savine's Wreck and Flage for value, and then you play Arena of Glory for your Kiora and your Flage. So you're like, so you know you're a Jeskai control deck more built around Savine's Reclamation and Kiora than the Ring, which is maybe not good, but maybe this is something we can do if anything happens in December. Okay, nice looking hand here. 1-1. I want to see it. It's not ready yet. I started to work on it a little bit this morning, but I haven't figured out a list or tested it yet. No, Coma, not Kona. Okay, I guess I keep getting confused. What card are you talking about? Oh, the 8/2 that makes the 4/3. I don't like that card either, but some people have been. I like that card more than I like the 4/3. I like that card more than I like the 4/3. Like, that's a card you could at least be like, I don't know. I kind of think I'd play the other ones instead. I want to kick the Mycospawn. Let's just K-Command here. They want to K-Command in their upkeep. Like, people don't really play Spell Pierce right now. Every time I come back, Spike keeps mistaking a 4/3 for an 8/12. I mean, it's blame Wizards for naming these cards this way. I, as always, am blameless. Oh, baby! I'll be keeping all of these, thank you very much. Although I might shuffle away the Battlemage with the Sowing Mycospawn. I built Kali and paper. Do you think it's good right now? I think that deck's fine. I wouldn't like be picking it as like a top 5 deck for a tournament, but if I wanted to play it at FNM, I would love to play that deck at FNM. Would love to play that deck at FNM. All right. The 4 Cavern of Souls are going to come in very handy post-board here, I think. Ghost Vacuum's a bit weird. It's good against exactly against Unearth. Sometimes it contains some of their big stuff. Can be kind of slow. Also, the activated ability is kind of real. Let's play one. Let's play one less Trinisphere. Run the draw. We'll bring this in. I don't think I want to play Emrakul. The idea is the Cavern's just like... Cavern plus Sire is kind of like your big plan against these decks. I ended up liking the standard gamer deck. I didn't have time to play any standard last night. All I did last night was build modern decks and test modern decks, and then I took a few hours off. Sorry, but we'll play some more. I'll play some more standard maybe this weekend. Although I do have the Arcane finale this weekend. It's kind of a big deal for me. Okay, sorry about that. Looks like a mulligan to me. Gonna keep this on 6. Wolf Skull, I think the 24 months. Appreciate you. So I want to exile Gemstone Caverns to Gemstone Caverns.
What's up? It's me, your friend.
So this way I don't draw another copy over the course of the game. Now, keep in mind, when you have 2 Gemstone Caverns in play, it's very tempting to just click both at once. Only click one here, otherwise there's no undoing and you are going to lose the game. Okay, so click OK, perform any opening hand actions. Yeah. I almost did it too. But I like Arcane, if I'm not a big anime guy. Yeah, I think Arcane is the best show ever created. I don't give a shit about League. I have no interest in League of Legends. But it's just the quality of animation and writing and acting is just all so ridiculously high quality. All right. So this is a lot fewer cards after mulliganing and getting thought seized and cavernsing and labyrinthing, but setting ourselves up to top deck pretty well. What standard deck am I working with? I'm just kind of trying to learn standard and then maybe stream some of it. They get a swamp, which maybe means they have a harbinger in their hand. At the very least, likely a harbinger in the deck. I like League 2 Spike. I don't know. I don't have any room in my heart for another like really time consuming game. I have no interest in learning League. I played one time with friends in, this was probably 2014 or something, and I didn't really know what was going on, but yeah, I'm not me watching Arcane has not made me more interested in learning League of Legends. All right, let's go to game 3. Trimit Caverns on the play. I kind of want to play one less Battlemage. Someone asked about my favorite Dark Souls 3 boss. I guess I missed that, but it is Black Flame Frida. Probably have to keep this on 6 cards. It's on a multi 5. Not Dancer. I mean, Dancer's really good too. I think everybody's got different things that speak to them about those games. And in fact, I think a big part of like the bosses that I've enjoyed over the Souls games have been the ones that I have taken a lot of time on because I've struggled with, so I get to really like fight them again and again. I get to sort of gain more of an appreciation for them. And I don't know that if I've ever lost a fight to Dancer, so I feel like I just haven't fought her that many times. And I don't think I've ever lost a fight to her because I've never gone that way early. I feel like this deck would benefit more of early curve, so like more talismans, maybe rumbles. Well, the problem is like I want to be kind of in on the Trinispheres is the reason why I haven't built the deck in that way. Why isn't Snapcaster played more? Snapcaster's not that good is the short answer. You mainly can play Snapcaster Mage in your deck if you have Flame of Venor in your deck. And there's a lot of problems with having Flame of Venor and, you know, being a Wizards deck in general. In fact, there was a long period of time when Snapcaster was kind of just an unplayable modern card. And it only just even kind of recently was back on the radar as a playable card again to some extent. Okay, there's a frog. I think that they've missed their land drop and that they have a Harbinger in their hand. Okay, it seems like they are F6'd. So I'm going to make some spawns here to play around that Harbinger that I suspect is in their hand. Kozilek's Command remains the best card in Modern. I don't know. Or one of the best cards. Ever heard Bloodborne runs on emulator on PC? I have heard that. I haven't really looked into it, but I have heard that, yeah. I think yeah. Okay. One annoying thing with spawns is Bowmaster. Just have to be able to sack to deny the Bowmaster. See, I have 6 mana here. These cost 7, so I draw another 7-drop. Every card in Dimir and Boros is better than Command Don't At Me. Look at this come on. K-Command is on the quality of any of those cards. It's just that you only have one card on the quality. it's just Kozilek's Command that's as good as all these other cards. But also, you know, Dimir isn't exactly like hard quality dot deck. Bolt, I know I've told you, how many times have I told you about Arena of Glory and Sire? I swear you come into the chat and just ask me the same questions and don't listen. Yeah, I looking at it, I have talked to you about Arena of Glory and Sire. You can never play Sire and Arena of Glory in the same deck, I think. You're not going to have enough mountains if you build your deck correctly. If we didn't bottom the lab, we'd be ahead. Guess so, yeah. I don't know. We may still be ahead anyways. Kind of depends on, do they have a consign? I'm testing it seems powerful. Send me your list, Bolt, and I'll tell you why you've misbuilt it. Mildly surprised, no Elemental Blast hasn't seen more play with Frog running around. Probably not good enough against the field. Yeah, it doesn't have too much else to do besides kill a Frog. But could maybe see more than like 0 play. Wasn't there mono red Eldrazi running off the Obligator a while ago? Yeah, that archetype is just very weak, I think. All right, let's draw a land. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have second consign as their last card. And then hopefully these carry us to victory. Okay, step 1. It's time for step 2. Shout out Camping with Steve. Cycles on Earth. Leaving up black mana so if they drew into counterspell, we could maybe resolve Sire. Looking for reach on the card, I think, is that pause. Didn't find it. Didn't find it. Looked, didn't find it. Nice. But says, whoops. It's kind of buried in there. I'm just gonna put that back into play. Honestly, it almost feels like they're testing to see if I knew it had flying. Or sorry, reach rather. So if this connects, then my opponent can't target either Sire, which is gonna be very, very tough for them to deal with. They don't have a good double block because of the first strike. Read the card, please. Maybe they're trying to soak up damage. We'll say that. Did they somehow find a consign? Oh, they topped that consign. They didn't have it last turn. They somehow woke up with it. Thankfully, we've entered double whoops territory. But then they find a Kiora, and the Kiora is going to make them an 8/8, which does beat my Sire, but only if they have another blocker to leave back. But then they don't attack with it. Because my opponent just cannot find a non-whoops turn, it seems. And getting them down to under 7 here probably is good news for me too. $34 life. Any spell they play costs 3. 3 mana Thought Scour. Now they attack. Why Wastescape instead of Wump? Wastescape is very good. It has a lot of things it lines up well against. Wump is kind of not playable anymore. The 2 mana Lord cost reducer. I did consider playing a lot of copies of that card, and I did land on not playing any copies. I built this deck a little bit ago. I'm trying to remember why I landed there. I think I just want to get another creature into play here. Don't have a waste in the deck. How would they attack without haste? Well, they didn't need haste because the creature, like, they flipped a Kiora off of Manifest. They didn't cast Kiora, which meant they could have attacked with it because it didn't have Summoning Sickness. But maybe that's what they were thinking. Yeah, Wastescape is just really good. It's like good against Titan. It's good against Storm. The bounce is good against the creature decks. It hits Blood Moon. It hits Goblin Bombardment. It hits Static Prison out of Boros. It hits Talismans. It hits Utopia Sprawls. It hits Urza Sagas. It hits the Blade of the Bloodchief deck. Ruby, did I say Ruby Medallion? It's the card is just, I think, very good at the moment, and maybe good in general too. The line is to get Blast on Undermoon to kill the Kraken once Flood Mage is gone. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. What is my favorite brew you've made recently? I really like the green red Underworld Breach Eldrazi deck we played today. To me, was a beautiful deck. Um, Incredibly fun to play, incredibly rewarding to build. Um, we went 7-3 with it today. I thought it looked great. It was like felt very fresh. Really happy with that one. Yeah, 7 keywords, but Death Touch is not one. I might be able to right click attack all because they block here and they have to put 2 things in front of the Sire. Minimum. But now it seems probably better for me to just play this Talisman so that I can, once I draw a land, I can just retrace Devourer onto the Kraken. You think they run Damnation? I think there's 0 chance they run Damnation, and they can't cast it if they have it. Keep surveilling. It's kind of funny how this lines up well against Sire. These are both cards from the same set. All right, did you draw your 3rd consign of the game? Yeah, I don't think we get in with either of these here. Okay, so this is Sink into the Stupor. That's getting countered with the ward. My opponent says GG. All right, not joking this time. 2 removal spells that were not castable. Nice. Okay, I'll take this 2 and 1. Been a good stream today. How did Gruul Freshstriker Breach go? We went 7-3, 3-2, and a 4-1. The deck was, I think, exciting, fresh, and full of potential. I'm very, very happy with that deck at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to play it in the challenge tomorrow. I also felt kind of the same way about the Simic Woodlands deck. You can. Okay, you can give Arena of Glory to Glissa, but you can't do it. Like, you can't put both the red mana into Glissa. So when I say something doesn't get Arena of Glory, what I mean is like you can't on turn 3 haste it with Arena of Glory. Like you can't do that till turn 4. So like the Cruel Claw does get Arena of Glory. All right, game 1, I'm definitely just responding here. Yeah, I do want to see like a more like less of a combo deck and more of just like a DRC beatdown deck. I might want to keep the Battle Mage for the ring. I think that's probably okay. Love to just keep all 3 on top here. Maybe I'll shuffle it away. Probably not though. Am I playing the ring in this deck? I'm not playing the ring in this one. There's a chance, like, ring is likely better than 6, but I've always liked where 6 fit on this mana curve, and 6 always, like, has been a card I really have liked in this archetype, and I think there are reasons to play 6 over the ring here, and if I can find a good enough reason to not play the ring in the deck, that's kind of just, to some extent, it's kind of enough for me right now, because I feel like you can do something kind of fresh. And then another thing too is like with 4 battle mages and 4 world breakers, we have a lot of answers to opposing rings. So it's like we're not exactly losing the ring super hard either. But 6 like it just lets you cast your most powerful spell every turn. It's castable turn 1 off Gemstone Caverns sometimes, which is fun. There's a lot to like about it. So I think I'm getting Cavern. Name Eldrazi, and then I'm also going to cast the 6 off the forest. Why not Mycospawn kick 6 last turn? Because then I shuffle away the Wastescape Battlemage, and then if my opponent goes like survives this turn into slams the ring, I don't have an answer to the ring. I have considered Null Drifter. I think I just want to stay mono green. Okay, so all 2-pitch Wrath Disguise, 4 cards in their hand. Interesting that they're back on Wrath. Goryo's or Murktide for upcoming tournament. I really like the Esper Goryo's deck I played. I also like the Grixis one. The Esper Goryo's is a bit more tried and true formula. The Grixis one felt pretty fresh too. Like there are a lot of decks that I play one league of, and then I like 4-1, and I just for one reason or another don't really circle back. Name Treefolk here. But I would recommend the Grixis build to you. I think that the build was good. Played exactly one league, 4-1. Probably need to play another league at some point. Palantir thoughts. Palantir is shitty. I would not play it in a deck like this. I would maybe play it in Through the Breach exactly. But it's just not a very good card overall. I have played it. So I could bring back the World Breaker here. I think I'm okay because I would rather Battle Mage the ring and then World Breaker land the following turn. Do I play around a Wrath? I think playing around a Wrath is probably correct. Because you picked up World Breaker last turn to keep him off 4 for Eternity. Well, I'm going to pick it up this turn instead of sacking the spawn and just use the Battle Mage to get the ring. If they hadn't played the ring, I would have got the World Breaker back. Oh, you mean the turn before? I don't think we had enough mana to buy it back and cast it. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean though. We just have a lot of answers to the ring, so we don't need to like super duper live in fear of it. Would it be good to bounce Mycospawn to kill another land? That sounds great. How do you bounce Mycospawn with our cards? You had 10 mana including a spawn before? Okay, then maybe I could have done it. Seems like this has worked out okay. He's a big fan. Big thank you. Oh. Meant to smiley, didn't mean to. Brown. Yeah, big fan of Supreme Verdict is pretty funny. Classic. They are a big fan. No, if they wait to do that. Okay. Yeah, get a Sanctum of Ugin here. Your turn. Basic Plains, 3 cards in hand. Fun Raveler. Bounce 6, 3 cards in their hand still. Let's see him. Maybe a split of Ring and 6. Yeah, maybe. At the very least, I like, happy enough with this build for now, and you could play the ring in the deck if you wanted to. That was their draw for turn. Okay, so on the draw against Jeskai, let's bring in a Gemstone Caverns over Boseiju #2. We're going to bring in 2 of these Emrakuls over 2 of the Trinispheres, I think. Could play like 1 Thief of Existence. I guess Thief is it better or worse than Battlemage? It gives them a card back. Also just kind of a better beater. I don't even actually think Trinisphere is good against them. So I'll just play the first one. I could also hit Teferi, so maybe we'll do like 3-2. Not sure about the Thieves. I just wanted to play Thief a little bit more because it's like I think it's a pretty good card that I haven't played with enough. Is maybe the short answer. Good against some cards, some like Brute Scale and Titan. Okay, got Mulligan or 7. My opponent keeps their 6. Main advantage is answering Karn. Yeah, Planeswalkers in general, but Karn is a big one. I think that there are less Karn decks in the format at the moment than there maybe should be. Karn is quite good. Opponent keeps a card on top. You want to counterspell a Talisman? Not drawing Cavern is tough. Cavern is just such an important important to draw. They do counterspell the Talisman. Cavern, best top deck. Not quite that lucky. I think if they're going to counterspell a Talisman, they definitely have more counter magic. So I think I want to maybe just go Talisman here, or if they counterspell the first one, like I should be happy that they counterspelled that instead of a Seer. Are they just going to go counterspell Ring on the play? Bolt has submitted us the power deck. Okay, you have 1 Arena of Glory. It's gonna be kind of hard to activate. I guess I didn't see the vision of just playing exactly 1 copy. I'm gonna just go ahead and get play patterned here. Didn't top deck an answer to the Ring. We could play it out for 1 more turn, but I think I'm okay. Just going to game 3 on the play here. Yeah, it seems fine. I'm not sure if it's optimal, but yeah, I just didn't have the vision of this just being a Mycospawn target. So yeah, that makes more sense. Seems fine. Okay, opponent's on a Mold of 6. Mold of 5. Can Sire of 7 attack again, even if I won't tap something else? Yeah, Vigilant cards are really good with Fear of Missing Out. Although it's kind of hard to have a lot of creatures to attack with, right? I think we might get consigned, but they Mold to 5, so that could be just okay. Could be better to play Talisman this turn. Just bottom any non-land. Another non-land. Your turn. Yeah, good job, Bolt. Card on top with the Archive. Hinge, then Think. So they have a Prismatic Ending. They have Prismatic Ending and Consign. Am I overthinking it? Kind of seems like that's the answer. Maybe a little bit scared of Wrath the Skies playing the second Talisman here. I'm going to still K command X equals 2. They didn't consign earlier. If they consign here, it's just kind of hard to feel like that's an L. And I also really just want to find a Cavern. So everything there seemed to work out pretty good for us. Okay. That didn't work out so good. Now imagine if I just held the command. Although, them mulling to 5 and just playing a silence is kind of interesting. So 5 cards in their hand, I guess that's what you get when you don't play anything. Finally got Bellatra. What are some beginner tips, tricks? You really want a Joker that can score you either extra mult or extra chips, like as your first Joker. Or a Joker that's giving you extra cash so you can buy those things in like the second round. But you want to get those like as soon as possible so you're not wasting all your money. Or like not getting money because you don't have enough hands to like get through the rounds. And then yeah, the Jokers that are like times multiplier, those are the most powerful, but they take a lot of time to get going. Yeah, I'm really rooting for Bellatra for Game of the Year. I don't think I've ever really cared about Game of the Year before until Bellatra got nominated, and I'm like, solo indie dev game I just love. Been playing a lot. I only have 2 more decks to orange stake on my phone. Then I can start working on the gold stake. My opponent is March of Otherworldly Lighting, the Sire of the Seven Deaths. So this only costs them 3 mana, 7 life, and 3 cards in their hand on their multi 5. Pretty good exchange for them. Let's put another one into our hand here. Stop putting this in your deck. I think I've been seeing more and more marches in deck lists. I don't really get it. I don't think that card is like. It's always been kind of fringe and never one I've really liked. That costs 7 deaths. So presumably they're going to play a ring here. Then we have a Wastescape Battlemage. No, this is Wrath the Skies X equals 2. Okay, Sire costs 7 in the name. Now my opponent's shocked in Hallowed Fountain. It seems like they want that mana. We're pretty far away from getting flaged. Okay, well, I'll say this. We've lost every first round of every league today. We lost round 1, but we 3-2'd our first one, we 4-1'd our second, now we're playing for 4-1 again. After, like, Sire is like a really, really important card for your matchup spread too. What a beautiful hand. Okay, so I could take Labyrinth and I could go turn 2 Seer into turn 3 Command X equals 6. Or I could take the Trinisphere and turn 2 Trinisphere. I think I just went the Lab. It's kind of close. Yeah, it feels good to be playing 6. 6 was kind of like in and out of the drafts. I went back and forth so much. Like this was supposed to be a Eldrazi linebacker Sire deck, but I just was not having success with linebacker. Oh, this is gonna be a thief. This looks like Brute Scout combo. That's definitely gonna be a thief matchup. Oh, it's Yawgmoth. I don't know why I just assumed it was gonna be uh, something else. They're not playing my build. I wasn't playing a Twilight Mire or Halfling. It's up like a Grist? No. Just having to deploy their cards a little bit awkwardly because of Halfling, Twilight Mire. That's something I didn't like so much about the Yogg deck in general. This extra Seer is not getting. It's not getting much better, but I think I'm probably going to just hold up the command here after attacking for 4. How long has Delver been dead in Legacy, or is it still a deck? I saw someone trophied a league with Delver the other day. I don't know. I mean that archetype is also like still seemingly pretty reasonable, but just like the actual card Delver of Secrets maybe doesn't see as much play as it used to. Main phase Channel Takenuma does get back the Yawgmoth. There is not a window for me to exile the Yawgmoth here, unfortunately. Although I can, with the Kozilek's command, I should be able to Thought-Knot Seer it still, I suppose. Let's go ahead and take the hit. I'm going to scry draw, spawn draw. Just the 4 extra mana I think has got to be worth more than exiling a Young Wolf here. Like, I could even draw another Kozilek's command off this Kozilek's command. So, if I want to go play... Yeah, I guess I should keep the Temple. This way I can play Sire and Thought-Knot Seer this turn. And the Temple is going to make these a bit better. I can just like pick one up and then cast them. So the hand should be Halfling, Yawgmoth, Mystery card. Oh, the Mortuary. Forgot we knew actual every card. Imagine if my opponent just hadn't main phase the Takenuma channel. This would be a very different game. Plays the Mortuary. Graveyard's an Apprentice Marionette, or Marionette Apprentice, rather. Plays a Halfling that we knew about. My opponent could, like, quadruple block a Seer, triple block a Seer. If I draw a land, I can play another 7-drop from underneath my Labyrinths. If I draw a 7-drop, I can also just cast it. Another green card would be, like, the worst draw. Yeah, I think I'm just getting in with everything here. They probably don't want to take 11. That's probably too low a life total to realistically combo off at. They're down to 9. Also -2 creatures is tough. 9 is not, super comfy combo off life total. I guess maybe I'm more likely to want to Devour next turn, but I can still Devour next turn if I just don't put this back into my hand. They drew a Bowmaster. Yeah, I kind of think that they probably should have tried to kill a Seer and drawn an extra card here. One card in their hand. So it is a Chord for Yawgmoth. Chord is kind of a better top deck than Yawg even in the spot. Yeah, Chord is like way better. Now again, they are at only 9 life with 2 mana up. Should probably start minusing on the Seer. I did consider 6 for the Fleshraker deck. I think it's too slow, like without Ugin's Labyrinth. It was in the deck for a while, then eventually cut. Yeah, target the Sire. Well, they don't have to pay the 7 life. 6 life points, down to 5. Now, no, we also saw a Marionette Apprentice. I mean, they probably have a Blood Artist in the deck too, but if they're only on Apprentice somehow, they can't kill me. Seems unlikely, though. They still don't have the second Young Wolf for, like, the loop-de-doop. Innkeeper's quite good. So now if my opponent does find second Young Wolf, they can't make infinite life, but they can draw their deck. Stranglegeist instead of Young Wolf cast. So after each time they do, so yeah, they can draw as many cards as they want in this spot. But it looks like they can only court for 1, And they've also there's an endurance in the yard, so they can't. It doesn't seem like they can dig for endurance. It doesn't seem like they can dig for endurance, and let them court for 2 to put a Blood Artist in play. Have they played their land this turn? It's turn 5 and there are 5 lands in play, so probably. There was no grazers this game. So I think because the endurance is in the graveyard, we're gonna win. Yeah, also if they draw the Blood Artist, but like there just isn't. There's no way for them to put a Blood Artist into play here, right? Unless they have second endurance, which would be tough. He doesn't lose a life. Yeah. Our opponent doesn't gain infinite life, but they can just draw as many cards as they want. But it doesn't seem like there's going to be a way for them to translate those cards into a meaningful stabilization here. But yeah, besides a second main deck endurance, which is pretty uncommon. And they would have to draw the second main deck endurance before they drew the Blood Artist. They can court for second wolf, and they can sit for second wolf and third wolf. And untap and court for artist. Yeah, no, they can't because then the innkeeper's tapped too. They have a plan, maybe they're just drawing. Let's figure out how we're sideboarding. I do think I like Ghost Vacuum against them. Like the ult ability is pretty relevant, and with them being on Stringer guys, stopping the Undying is more relevant too. I'm gonna be bringing in all of the Allah's Dusts. Probably going down on some Trinispheres. Hopefully my opponent discards like a bunch of Birthing Rituals and Cauldrons, and we can see more of what their build looks like. If they're playing Strangler Geist, though, they might be more in on Eldritch Evolution like I was, but they're just like they're playing a build like we played, but they're playing Halfling over Grazer. Okay, something is happening. Do they have Essence Warden? I guess Essence Warden would kind of do it. Okay, they get another Young Wolf. Can we kill them next turn? Yeah. Now we can for sure, but we also have the ability to cast a Devourer to exile the Yawgmoth, or like a blocker. Yeah, but Sire has Trample. I've actually felt like all it does isn't that great versus Yawgmoth due to the amount of Undying things. I don't care about Cauldron. I mean, I think it's good against them, but yeah, I mean, it's not like it doesn't just win the game. That's true. Like I like the World Breakers are quite bad, I think. Yeah, I don't know how an extra wolf helps our opponent. Maybe they were thinking the same way Elk was thinking. It doesn't actually do anything. Is Ghost Vacuum good against Grave decks? Yeah, come here for premium Magic the Gathering strategy from your friend Aspiring Spike. Bring in Ghost Vacuum against graveyard focus decks. So my opponent's dead on board without me doing anything. Should I devour something first? They just don't have a block that lets them live. I love this list. What part of the meta got me to add Battlemage? Hold on one second. Okay, just attack. I think Battlemage is kind of good against everything. Like it's like Titan is a big part of the metagame. You can't beat Titan without 4 main deck Battlemage. You probably can't beat it anyways, but it helps. It's good against the Eldrazi decks. It's the Broodskill decks are kind of on an uptick. It's very good against those. Very important against those. Against Energy, it hits Static Prison. It hits Blood Moon. It hits Ring, which is Bombardment. All really relevant. The bounce effect is also really good against Dimir. It just doesn't seem to have like a lot of weaknesses, and it gives you that cheap interaction too, which is super, super nice. And I think it kind of complements the Trinisphere plan too to some extent. They can block, court for 0, get Arbor to live at 1 if I don't Devourer. Block here, take 7. Like, yeah, how do they not take 7? Like, they have to block both Seers, don't they? They did show some Birthing Rituals here, too. Yeah, this is Menace and Trample. Like they can't like sack these to shrink this. They can kill a seer. I mean, can they kill a seer and not take the trample damage? I don't think so. I'll just let my opponent burn their clock, you know. They're at... Okay, now they knew it had been this earlier. Sack 4 to kill a seer. Well, if they're sacking 4 to kill a seer, then they're not gaining life in that process. They're losing life in that process. They're going to die to my trample damage. You were right about the cord for Dryad Arbor thing. So this is, you know, this is +1 life for them. I believe that they're just dead, though. They're... Yeah, okay. Okay. Got there. Okay, so yeah, just out the Trinispheres, out the World Breakers, and the All Is Dust and the Ghost Vacuums. Don't think I'm going to play Thief of Existence. We have Battle Mages and Devourers and All Is Dust for the Birthing Rituals. It seems like enough. I think I'm going to keep in all the Battle Mages. Maybe you could play like one Emrakul instead. Oh, Gemstone Caverns over. Maybe I want to keep both Boseijus. Just board out a Sanctum of Ugin. Seems like not exactly a Sanctum of Ugin matchup. Yeah, I miss Fanatic of Ronus too. We haven't cast that card in a while. That card is very good, but you know, it doesn't see a lot of play because there aren't that many good 4-power creatures. Always hard to mulligan a Gemstone Caverns on the draw, but I think we'll make a disciplined mulligan here. This hand is a lot better. Yeah, just gonna bottom a Talisman. Puts on a mold of 5. Yeah, I'll take a look at your living in list. This is the Sultai living in deck. Yeah, I'm not a big Halo Forger fan because it's like you have to mill living into over with Hulk, or so with the Overlord, right? I just wish there was like one more way for like this card to actually cast Living End, besides like second Living End. Hulkbuster's pretty cool. Yeah, this looks nice. You might want to play just the like the 4 mana like bounce something, cast a spell for free. I can never remember the name of that card, but you might know what I'm talking about. You might not. Halo's Defy back against control decks can be used to sack to Flare of Denial. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. I just wish it was better. You know what I mean? It's tough. 3-ball kind of good against Cord. I mean, it's kind of good against Cord, but that's kind of the only card it is super good against, and it's also like they could just spin. It's not that hard for them to like just 3 mana tap other creatures. It's only like situationally good against it. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm tapping my Ghost Vacuum to do this. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of press. It's just also like neither option is super good, of course. You just gotta pick one, I suppose. Oh, maybe I should have Labyrinth so like Temple's a live draw for me to play one of these next turn. Monsteroni, Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. Alright, getting in with the Young Wolf. A lot of good top decks. One card in their hand. It was a Birthing Ritual. Kind of scary. They can't put a Yawgmoth into play here too, and it doesn't seem like they have like any 3s to sack into the Yawgmoth. We'll see. Maybe there's a Harbinger or 2. So I need to not have 6 because I want to be able to Ghost Vacuum whenever they sack. Just slurp it up. Okay, they sack a Wall of Roots to put a Haywire Might into play. So it seems like they have an answer to my Ghost Vacuum. Okay, so we'll just play the Forest, and next turn we can play whichever 7-drop better suits us. They are top decking, and they do just go ahead and kill my Vacuum end of turn off the Wall of Roots mana. They top deck a basic Forest. Hits me for 2, presumably. Any fun brews lately with Birthing Ritual? I feel like the format is just way too fast for Birthing Ritual. So I haven't really been casting the card very much. Ignoble Hierarch, my old friend. Pretty awkward time to draw this Wastescape Battlemage. I think I'm going to cast this Sire. Just pretty important for me to pressure their life total here. And the ritual just also kind of isn't doing anything. I feel vindicated. Eldritch Evolution would have just completely won this game. Uh-oh. Taps a swamp. Taps another swamp. Just a Hapatra. Just the Hapatra. Could you have vacuumed their might? Oh, sorry. I guess I should have vacuumed up the might. Yeah. Although if I draw another vacuum, maybe it's better to not, but probably better to play around Cauldron. Okay, Boy. I did draw another vacuum. Probably going to multi-kick the Battlemage here. I think this is my first time ever multi-kicking this. Okay, blue, green, 1. Bounce the token or bounce Hapatra? I think I want to bounce Hapatra, so if they top deck Yawgmoth, they don't just machine gun me down. Certainly want my opponent to not top deck Yawgmoth. They can draw it next turn, but when they're at 5 life. They just drew a land. Ooh, we could Ghost Vacuum Ignoble Hierarch into play to attack for 1 extra with Sire of 7 deaths. Probably worse than stopping Undying. I think I'm going to cast Allah's Dust here. All right. Okay, so round 1 of leagues today was not super easy to get through, but we went 3-2-4-1-4-1 with the Breach Eldrazi deck in this deck. I'm glad I got around to showing off how I would build this archetype. I know a lot of people built this deck shortly after MH3, and it's been a little while. Pretty nice 4-1. All right, game has ended. So be back tomorrow. We're going to play a Modern Challenge. I'm either going to